My beloved son, my precious daughter, silence. Everything around you now, the worries of the day, the tiredness of your mind, the noise trying to occupy your heart, because what I have to say is too deep to be heard in a hurry. I have called you here because for many nights I have been whispering truths to your spirit. I have spoken when everything falls silent, when the house sleeps, when your soul finally quiets. Yes, it is during the night that my spirit reveals, not because I am limited to the darkness, but because it is in the absence of external noise that I can show you what can only be perceived in silence. And yet, how many times have you ignored what I showed you in the darkness of your room, in the lines of your dreams, in unexplained chills, in the tear that came out of nowhere? How many times did you feel something wasn't right, that something had to change, that a direction needed to be taken, but you chose to postpone, to doubt, to rationalize, to hide from yourself what you already knew? Stop ignoring what my spirit shows you at night, because there, when your eyes close to the world, heaven opens to your soul. You pray asking for direction, but when that direction comes in the form of nighttime discomfort, you dismiss it. You say, it was just a dream, it's just fatigue, and my mind is making things up. But I tell you, your mind would not invent what it does not understand. Your flesh could not produce what only my spirit can discern. It is I who comes to meet you while you sleep. I am the God who spoke to Joseph in dreams, who revealed mysteries to Daniel, who warned Pilate through his wife's unrest. I am the same, still speaking, still revealing, still visiting you. While everyone thinks you are resting, your spirit awakens. Your soul perceives, and you know something sacred is happening. So why do you ignore me? Why do you despise the gentle touch of my presence at dawn? Why do you insist on following natural paths when I have already laid out an invisible, safe highway in the spiritual world? Remember how many times you woke up with your heart racing, with the impression that you heard your name, with the feeling that something had to be done, and yet you went back to sleep as if nothing happened. You woke with images you couldn't understand, with words that weren't yours, with gut feelings you tried to silence. Can't you see? It is my spirit trying to get your attention. When the world goes quiet, I speak louder. When your eyes close, I open the eyes of your soul. When the body rests, your spirit receives instructions, and these instructions are not for some distant future, they are for now. They are warnings, counsel, directions that keep you from falling, from forming dangerous alliances, from making wrong decisions, from walking the paths of death. But you still choose to trust what you see in the daylight rather than what I reveal to you in the night. You follow men's advice, the voices on social media, the data that seems logical, and ignore the signs I gave you while the world slept. How many times have I awakened you in the middle of the night with a weight that wasn't physical, a pressure in your chest, a name that came to mind, a face that appeared without reason? That was not coincidence. That was intercession, deliverance, an opportunity to pray, to shift the atmosphere, to act in faith. But you thought, I'm tired. It doesn't matter. I'll wait until morning. But when the sun rises, the windows of the soul close again, and what was urgent gets lost between the coffee and the rush. But I, the Lord of Time, continue to wait for your response. I keep trying to awaken your sensitivity, because there are things that can only be perceived in stillness. There are deliverances that only activate through immediate obedience. There are directions that, if ignored, will make your path longer, more painful, more confusing. So today I come to tell you, stop ignoring what my spirit shows you in the night, because that silent disregard is delaying promises. It's maintaining alliances I already asked you to break. You are holding on to habits I already revealed were open doors to the enemy. You are hiding wounds that must be exposed in order to be healed. What I show you at night is not a burden. It is grace, protection, direction, love. It's not to frighten you, it's to prepare you. It's not to accuse you, it's to free you. I don't visit you at dawn to judge you. I visit to remind you who you are and where you must go. But as long as you keep ignoring my nighttime whispers, your soul remains without a map. And there's nothing more dangerous than walking without direction, making decisions without discernment, living among people without spiritual filters, giving your heart without first hearing my alert. Son, daughter, listen to me. When night falls, it's not the end, it's the beginning of hearing. When everyone sleeps, your soul awakens. When silence settles in, My word echoes inside you. Learn to discern. Learn to respect what you feel when everything outside seems calm, but inside is in turmoil. Learn to write down your dreams. To pray when you wake up without reason. To ask me what I'm trying to show you when someone keeps appearing in your thoughts at 3 a.m. That's not just biology, it's spiritual, it's prophetic, it's urgent, because some things must be discerned in the dark so that the light of day does not blind you with illusions. I am teaching you to live with spiritual eyes open, and that begins when you stop ignoring what I show you while the world sleeps. While the bodies rest, heaven moves. While people sleep, angels move. Decrees are released. Intercession rises like living embers before my throne. And there, in that moment when your room is covered in darkness and only the sound of the clock breaks the silence, my spirit leans over you like one watching a child in deep sleep, ready to awaken to a higher calling. Yes, my child. While the world sleeps, I am still at work. I watch over your home. I place invisible shields over your mind. I correct paths that the next day will seem like coincidences, but they were actually providences. While the world sleeps, I revisit promises I made when you were still afraid to even dream, and I update in the spirit realm the plans I designed for you before you were born. But what grieves me, what momentarily silences my breath, is seeing that you have been ignoring what I speak during this sacred time. My child, you ask for clarity, but you reject the moment when the purest light can shine within you. And that light does not come from the sun, it comes from revelation. You long for answers, but you neglect the hour when I speak most clearly, when no one can distract you, when your soul wears no masks, when your spirit is naked before me. So do not despise the hour of visitation anymore. There are nights more spiritual than any church service you've attended. There are dawns more glorious than many loud words you've heard. Because when I visit you in silence, it's to teach you to value the sacred, the kind that needs no audience. And that is why so many answers haven't come during the day, because they were keys meant to be handed over only when your spirit is awake and your ego is asleep. The world sleeps and I speak. And I don't speak with shouting, I don't speak with chaos. I speak with the weight of glory. I speak with a gentle breath. I speak with the memory that won't leave your mind at sunrise. I speak through that feeling that something isn't right, even when everything seems okay. I speak through the sudden chill on your skin when you think of doing something that isn't from me. I speak through the memory I awaken, the verse I bring to mind, the song that touches your soul, even when no music is playing. All of that is warning, love, direction, deliverance. But you've been ignoring it. You've let the sleep of the body silence the spirit's alert. You've allowed the logic of the day to silence the discernment of the night. You've chosen to wake up with the agendas of men, not the programming of heaven, but I am still here. I still visit you, I still awaken you, I still send my signs, because even when you reject me with your indifference, I chase you with my goodness. Even when you choose to forget what I revealed in the dark, I send reminders in the form of unrest during the day. Because I am the one who doesn't give up on speaking to you, even when you prefer not to listen. But listen to me now. Time is narrowing. The seasons are shifting, and you can no longer delay what I've been asking you to obey. The early mornings that used to be gentle nudges will now become stronger calls. What used to be discomfort will become pressure. What used to be warning will become confrontation, because I love you too much to let you lose your purpose to distraction. So I say it one more time, and this time with the weight of someone who loves deeply. Stop ignoring what my spirit shows you in the night, because the night is my altar of revelations, and those who learn to listen in the darkness walk in authority under the light of day. They are not confused by praise. They are not deceived by proposals. They do not fall into traps disguised as friendship because they were trained in silence. They were visited in secret. They were shaped by tears that only I saw falling on the pillow. They were lifted by prayers never spoken aloud, but read directly from the soul. And now I call you to that place, the place where my secrets are revealed, where valleys become sanctuaries, where the desert becomes a school, where the midnight hour is no longer fear, but presence. Yes, listen with your heart. While the world sleeps, heaven opens, and I am still here, waiting for you to wake up on the inside. So I gently take you deeper now, not to a place of fear, but of awareness. Because what you perceive in the spirit is not imagination, it is invitation. Every stirring you feel, every inexplicable tension in your heart is an opening into something sacred, something requiring your participation. You have prayed for wisdom, but you did not expect it to come in the form of unease. You expected it to arrive polished, clear, fully explained. But wisdom, my child, often begins as disturbance, a holy discomfort that refuses to let you remain unchanged. There are places you keep returning to that are no longer aligned with your calling. Familiar but spiritually dry, comfortable but subtly draining. I did not create you to blend in with the places I called you to grow beyond. Some conversations you're having are not just unhelpful, they're subtracting from your sensitivity. You are losing awareness in the name of politeness. You are allowing voices near your soul that I have already marked for distance. Do not mistake peace for silence, and do not assume agreement means alignment. There are people around you who echo your words but carry different spirits. I have shown you glimpses. I have given you reactions that made no sense. Until now, you've felt the shift, the unease around certain people, the hesitation in your spirit when a door opened too easily. That was not paranoia, it was discernment. And you've been asking me to confirm it, but I already have. Many times, you cannot move forward while entertaining what I have asked you to release. What you carry is too sacred to be shared carelessly. Stop giving the blueprint of your next season to those who had no part in your last deliverance. Yes, I'm calling you to build, but not everything is a green light. Some ideas are distractions wearing the costume of opportunity. Some doors are traps painted to look like promotion. This is why you must remain close, because only I see beyond the surface. And I know this level of surrender feels like isolation. I know it's hard to explain why your spirit is rejecting what your mind finds acceptable. But this is how I train leaders. This is how I shape those who will carry weight others cannot. You must learn to trust the exit signs I place in your soul. Some of them will not make sense until much later. Some will leave you misunderstood for a time, but the peace that follows obedience will be your confirmation. Stop trying to carry people who are refusing to be carried. Stop adjusting your calling to fit their comfort. If they are threatened by your growth, they were never invested in your freedom. I am purifying your circle, not to punish you, but to protect what I'm planting. Because what I deposit next in your spirit cannot survive in toxic soil. Not everyone who clapped for you is assigned to walk with you. You've been asking why certain relationships feel strained, why conversations that once flowed now fall flat. It's not because you've changed in the wrong way, it's because your spirit is advancing and they chose to stay behind. Do not return to old patterns to avoid loneliness. Loneliness is a space I sometimes allow so you can hear me without interruption. Do not mistake divine solitude for abandonment. This season is not about more activity, it's about deeper clarity. I'm not asking for busier hands, I'm asking for a clearer heart. A heart that can detect what's me and what's simply noise. Even in your ministry, your work, your family, discernment is becoming your most urgent weapon, because the enemy no longer shows up wearing horns. He disguises himself in urgency, in charisma, in well-packaged lies. And that's why I'm raising your spiritual senses. You've noticed your appetite shifting. What once entertained you now feels hollow. What once satisfied you now leaves you restless. That's not coincidence. It's me detoxing your soul from counterfeit pleasures. I'm teaching you to enjoy what heaven enjoys, to crave what the spirit craves. And this won't make sense to others who are still eating from shallow tables. But you were never meant to feast in places I've already departed from. Your identity is being refined, not just as a servant, but as a carrier of my authority, and authority requires integrity. You cannot walk in power without purity. You cannot carry revelation without responsibility. And yes, this refining may feel like fire, but it is not a fire meant to consume you. It is a fire that reveals what's real, what's eternal, what's aligned. Let it burn off what cannot remain. Let it expose what no longer fits. You've been trying to hold together fragments I already allowed to fall apart. I did not break you to leave you. I allowed the breaking to reveal what was built on sand. And now, I am rebuilding with stone, with truth, with spirit. Be willing to leave the ruins of what once worked. I'm not recycling your past. I am birthing something entirely new. But new wine cannot be poured into old wineskins. You must let go of outdated methods and outdated mindsets. Stop trying to be understood in a room I'm calling you to exit. Not everyone will celebrate your alignment. Not everyone will applaud your consecration. But you are not here to entertain them. You are here to obey me. You don't need a stage to be significant. You don't need applause to be anointed. What I am doing in secret is preparing you for authority in public. But first you must become unshakable in silence. Because when the pressure comes, only the deeply rooted remain. Shallow roots break in storms. But what I'm building in you is not shallow. It is anchored. Anchored in knowing me. Anchored in trusting me when nothing makes sense. Do not chase clarity more than you chase me. Some answers are hidden on purpose, not to confuse you, but to draw you closer. What you need most right now is not a map, it is my voice. And I'm teaching you how to follow without all the details. To move with me, even when the path looks unfamiliar. Because faith is not the absence of uncertainty. It is the choice to walk even when you cannot see the end. You've asked me for a sign, but I'm asking you for surrender. You've waited for confirmation, but I'm waiting for your yes. A yes that doesn't require explanation. A yes that holds even when the emotions fade. You say you want revival, but revival begins in the hidden places. It starts with personal repentance. It starts with turning away from subtle compromises, from words spoken without me, from plans made without prayer. I'm restoring your sensitivity, making you aware of things you used to ignore. You'll start noticing the tone behind words, the tension in atmospheres, the shift in rooms when my spirit is grieved, and I won't allow you to remain numb. I'm awakening you on purpose. Because what's coming requires spiritual precision. You cannot afford to sleepwalk into this next season. There are assignments tied to your awakening, people waiting on your obedience, destinies connected to your courage. When you delay, something sacred is delayed with you, so I am placing a weight in your spirit, not to overwhelm you, but to equip you. That burden you feel is not heaviness, it's authority settling into your bones. It's the mantle I've prepared since before you were born. You won't fit in anymore, not because you're better, but because you're marked. Marked for something sacred, and what's sacred must be separated before it can be released. You will start feeling when I grieve. You will start hearing what others can't. You'll know when to move, when to wait, when to speak, and when to stay silent. Because I'm not training you for convenience. I'm training you for dominion.